I'm sharing a video from Friday because I did not do a video on Friday. So the last video I did was making up for Thursday, a belated video. And I wanted to give a blessing that everybody, because it was the New Year of the Trees, to renew and to grow and to vitalize and to restore and to bloom. And I'm going to continue now with something I left off with, which was the Zohar, Vayera, chapter 20, written by Rabbi Shema Bar Yochai in a cave for 13 years with his son, and transmitted by his circle. And I want to share, he was talking about 248 parts of the body. We have 32 paths of wisdom, which include 22 letters and 10 sayings. And we have the 72 names of God at 3 letters each, which is 216. And there really are 248 parts of the body. So the 72 names I'm going to read now, not reading them straight, but reading them letter by letter. Vav He Vav, Yud Lamed Yud, Samach Yud Tes, Ayin Lamed Mem, Mem He Shin, Lamed Lamed He, Aleph Chaf Aleph, Chaf He Taf, He Zayin Yud, Aleph Lamed Dalet, Lamed Aleph Vav, He He Ayin. Now, the reason I'm not reading them is because each one has its own unique power. And this is simply just to share kind of that, like, in the mystical teachings of Judaism, and I'm going to be sharing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts to this. Now, that in the mystical teachings of Judaism, we know that we don't need to turn humans into God. We don't need to serve a human like a God, because look how many ways there are to connect with God. Before we even get to the angels, in the last video I shared a lot about the names of the angels. So now I'm going to go into the first part. Yud Zayin Lamed, Mem Beis He, He Resh Yud, He Kuf Mem, Lamed Aleph Vav, Chaf Lamed Yud, Lamed Vav Vav, Pei He Lamed, Nun Lamed Chaf, Yud Yud Yud, Mem Lamed He, Ches He Vav. Now, before I go to the second part, another reason I'm not pronouncing them is because I don't know the correct pronunciation. We have vowels in Hebrew, which are symbols. Those, with the dots, with the lines. Let me see if I could, here. I don't know if you could see it. Those are called nekudot. In English, we literally call it points. The thing is that I don't know exactly how to pronounce these right. And I wouldn't want to, it's like, let's say someone has the name Tom and someone's calling him Tim, someone's calling him Tem, someone's calling him Tum. Like, it's very disrespectful. So it's also, when we're talking about godliness, we want to say things in the right way. So I'm going to make sure that I don't say it unless I would know exactly how. At this point, that's how I feel. Okay, second part. Nun Tav He, He Aleph Aleph, Yud Resh Taf, Shin Aleph He, Resh Yud Yud, Aleph Vav Mem, Lamed Chaf Beis, Vav Shin Resh, Yud Ches Vav, Lamed He Ches, Chaf Vav Kuf, Mem Nun Dalet, Aleph Nun Yud, Ches Ayin Mem. Oh, this is third part. Aleph Nun Yud, Ches Ayin Mem, Resh He Ayin, Yud Yud Zayin, He He He, I think it's Mem Yud Chaf, Vav Vav Lamed, Yud Lamed He, Samach Aleph Lamed, Ayin Resh Yud, Ayin Shin Lamed, Mem Yud He. Fourth part, Vav He Vav, Daled Nun Yud, He Ches Shin, Ayin Mem Mem, Nun Nun Aleph, Nun Yud, Taf, Nun Yud Taf, Mem Beis He, Pei Vav Vav, Pei Vav Yud, Nun Mem Mem, Yud Yud Lamed, He Resh Ches, Mem Tzadik Resh. And fifth part, Vav Mem Beis, Yud He He, Ayin Nun Vav, Mem Ches Yud, Daled Mem Beis, Mem Nun Kaf, Aleph Yud Ayin, Ches Beis Vav, Resh Aleph He, Yud Beis Mem, He Yud Yud, Mem Vav Mem. And the sixth part is, blessed is the name of the glorious kingdom forever and ever. And when we say that in Hebrew, it's a prayer the angels say. We don't declare it pretending we're angels. We say it in a whisper. And there was a Rabbi Ingber, who used to share from chassidic masters. This is going back to a time a couple hundred years ago for sure, from like over 200 years ago or so. Where's my tissue? Oh. And some of their teachings from that time. This is when the Baal Shem Tov started teaching Chassidus, which is like trying to understand God, trying to live God, really the endeavor is to bring godliness into the entire world and to live godly, to be the light, to reveal the light, to lift up the sparks, and the inner will of God versus, inner will is like by choice, outer will is by force. So basically, in the name of Rav Tzadok, so Rabbi Ingber from Romamu would share from the Chassidic master. So Rav Tzadok would talk about how the shadow work is not lovely, and the ultimate expression of love is a willingness to grow. The angel strikes the grass, grow. This is self-transcendence. We might think of this as eros in, common ideas. Nothing stands in the way of returning to love, and it turtles up, like think of the turtleneck, and down. It's like a hole-on part creates holes. Love is the open door, what we're all looking for. All souls in one body, the primordial atom, rooted and unified, fractals of sentience, aware of lack and incompletion as consciousness, forces of nature that support it. It's like the toenail pain can affect the settling and abilities for the entire body of the person. Even righteous and realized people have tasted the sun and interwoven into one stature with everyone enough to see the same developmental challenges and evolutionary adaptation. I'm part of the collective. It exists in me to some degree. And when we check our spiritual privilege at the door, we find the negative in ourself. The new blood can invigorate. The center can filter and infuse. The heart is of vitality and morality, the seed of love, logged onto consciousness in the peripheral. The core is affecting and affected by one another, by each other. And we know the shin, orthographic, like in the way that the symbols mean things, but the shin, and I'll show you what the shin looks like. It's this letter. They show two versions of it, one with the point on one side and one with the point on the other side. The one, and they do symbolize our eyes. The one that has the point on the right side, on the top of it, at the top of its right is called the shin. And the one that has the point on the left side is the sin. But they're the same thing, the left eye and the right eye. So it's the fire of creation. And then I wanted to say that actually on the website, Quantum Torah, I was reminded of the shin as looking like the psi letter, PSI, which denotes the state of a system. I'm going to show it to you. Don't look at how messy my notes are, but that's how it looks. It looks kind of like a shin. So the fire of creation, the state of a system. And now we're going to learn from Rev Kook, which was that when we want more goodness, when we want more holiness, more than a calf wants to suckle, a cow wants to give milk. There's a recognition of the divide between the truth to the deepest part of me versus all the phenomena in my life. The aspects that are extrapolated or twisted or presented, we turn back in penitence out of love of light of truth, regret for our baseness, ugliness, and nothingness. The spies start with a scintilla or a scintilla of truth, however you would say that word. Then dramatic propaganda arises. It's like why we lie, why we believe lies. We entrust our spirit to godly truth, and in the hands of God, our Redeemer is the reprieve. We cultivate the ability to see and hear the truth. And the right eyes can see, we turn both into the right eye. So basically the right eyes can see a new true story, condition, cleanse, hollow, strength in the will. So it aspires only for what's real and good. In other words, really true. The platform for educational discipline for the best of us in all particularities and uniqueness is that deepest yearning for truth, where we elevate our will. It's not exactly wanting to not want. It's a passive denigration of the wants. To stop using the desire body in the innate drive or a spiritual resignation, we as a human say, all my devotional power and towardness and motivation. God wanted, the creation. God willed it. A want is not to lack or not to have. It's not saying I don't have it. It's not saying there's an imperfection. Desire is the fertile ground for cultivation and releasing. To beloved and talk to nice, to be, what is it to have a beloved, right? It's to be loved, beloved, right? You want them to be loved. It's your beloved. It's yours that makes you be loved. You're able to be love. and to talk to, and being talked to nicely or talking nicely. This is different desire than money or sex. It's a subtle. It's a want. It's not like, and even those things we could say we don't necessarily need. We want, to be connected, to have family. We want to have resources. But anyway, I'm going to stop here and wish you a wonderful evening, a wonderful week. I'm recording this for Friday, but it's actually Saturday night. It's Motzei Shabbos leaving. So I wish you an incredible week full of redemption and miracles, and enemies are washed away in the same sea that protects us and opens for us and makes room for us.